Well, it's been a fun time, a little bit of a life update. So for those of you that have been following along a little bit with my last life update, you knew that I had moved cities, I started a new job, all things were going well. Then the lockdown happened, and I unfortunately lost my job, but not necessarily due to the lockdown. So that's fun. So that would be a great time if you haven't already. Maybe want to check out my Patreon. I got the link down below if you want to help support me. It really will help a lot within this transitional period because I don't know what's gonna happen next. Yeah, I mean, new city and no prospects in this new city because I moved from Toronto, the biggest city in Canada, to a smaller rural city, town, north of it by about 4 hours, and there's no prospects. So yeah, not quite sure what the future's going to hold, but that's how the cookie crumbles. So yeah, just going to talk about some of the albums that I've picked up between, I guess, the last time. The last update that I did was just before the lockdown, so these are the albums that I've either purchased through online resources. Now luckily I do shop at a number of local, not this local, but Toronto local and surrounding area local record stores that do offer those types of services. So if you live in an area that does have a small or a independent record store, please support them. I know that they'll need the support now more than ever. So all of these are from those locally independent stores. I think I only bought 2 through Amazon because all the other stores didn't have them in their stock. And funny story, one of those albums never showed up. So there's another reason to go independent, because at least you know where the records are coming from, because the one record I ordered is gone. I don't know when or if I'm going to get it. But anyway, these are the guys that I've been ordering. Most of them are new. There's a few that are used, so I'm going to get into them. I'm pretty excited about a lot of these. And first up, we've got... now, this was one that actually a band gave to me. This is the Bloody Millards. This is Realm. This was the album that I had reviewed with my last quarter notes. It's a series that I'm actually really enjoying. So this one is just a fantastic instrumental... I guess post-metal, very similar. As I was reviewing it, I was just the word that I was looking for is kind of like that post-shoegaze metal, something from Deaf Haven would be kind of qualifying for what these guys are doing there. So really, really enjoyed this. I've been listening to it pretty regularly, so if you haven't checked it out by now, go for it. And I actually just realized I'm going to shift over a little bit. There we go. That gives us a little bit more space kind of over here to showcase them. So the next one, these were albums that I got over up at Waxman up in North Bay, and I'm a pretty loyal customer to Waxman. If you're ever up in North Bay, Ontario, go and check them out. The guys there know their stuff, and it's such a quaint little store. What they do is they have these mystery packs where you get 4 albums for $3. And it's just complete randomized. It's almost like buying a pack of Magic cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Pokemon cards. And it's just fun to see what you get there. You're basically buying the mystery. So this was the 4 that I got within the one that I ordered. Believe in Music, 22 original hits. It's just some fun 70s stuff. It's made in Canada, so there's quite a bit of Canadian stuff on here, but there's a lot of just popular things from the 70s. Next one is Dottie West, A Legend in My Time. I'm not quite sure what this one will sound like because I'm not familiar with her at all, and I haven't had a chance to spin it yet, so I'm pretty excited to kind of hear what this is. Now this one is from Hank Snow, the Southern Cannonball. I got another Hank Snow record from a mystery pack. It's very country and western. Not a big fan of that type of sound, but it's still fun to have and put on if I'm ever in the mood. And finally, the last of the 4 is Supertramp, Crime of the Century, my favorite Supertramp album. You can see that on my Supertramp Worst to Best. It's not necessarily in the best conditions, and I already have this album actually twice in my collection, so I think I'll probably just donate this or leave this either at my cottage or at my girlfriend's place. But yeah, the best Supertramp album, by far. Next up, these are 4 albums that I actually got at a Value Village. They allowed themselves to open up, so I went in as my girlfriend was thrifting, and I found their record section, and I always like to browse through it. It's mainly just like throwaway stuff, but there's a few things like the Percy Faith strings. This one's actually really, really nice. It's very light, very airy, something just to kind of have in the background. Same with Starlight Waltzes, again, just to have in the background. It's very nice, very soothing. I really enjoy that one. Now, I got this one mainly because it was the Hammond organ. Unfortunately, it's more of like carousel music more than anything, but it's still quite fun. There's quite a few on here that, you know, I'll be listening to and I'm like, oh, okay, that's fun. That's fun. Like Tequila starts off the second side and I'm like, oh, that's fun. So yeah, there's that one. And then finally, this was actually a pick from my girlfriend, Doris Day's Greatest Hits. I haven't listened to this one yet, but, or have I? Can't recall if I've listened to this one. Oh, yes, I have, because the second side starts off with Whatever Will Be, Will Be. So it's fun. It's just kind of light 60s music. It's all right. I think this is either 50s or 60s. All right, so next up is the last of the used stuff. The rest are pretty much brand new. And this was another one that I got at Waxman. This is Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy from Elton John. I love, growing up, we had the CD, and it actually continues with Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds and Philadelphia Freedom, which aren't on this. Like, those are bonus tracks from the re-release. But I still love this album. It has such great bangers. Like, I personally love Someone Saved My Life Tonight, the closing track of the first side, as well as Curtains, the final track. But just a great addition. Yellow Brick Road's probably my favorite, but this one's a close second. This was the last one that I got from up there. This was the live album, and I'm keeping kind of like the slot thing. So live album from the live album from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, Chunky Shrapnel. I am a little saddened how they chopped up the album, although I love the inside. Like the packaging, that's something that King Giz does beautifully, is the packaging of this. And the actual vinyl itself, like this is the green speckled. You got the Chunky Shrapnel there. I'm not a big fan of how they chopped up the album. When I was listening to it on the streaming services, I figured that each new kind of studio release, like Quarantined and Anamnesis, I thought those would start off the next side because it starts off with Evil Star, and so I thought that side B would start off with Quarantine, but Murder of the Universe starts off side B, and then Quarantine is the second song. And same with side C. Side C is Let Me Mend the Past, and then it goes into Anamnesis, which I was very, very confused about. I wondered why they chopped it up like that. It doesn't make too much sense with me, and I think it actually chops up the overall listening experience a little bit too much, but I'm not a record producer. I don't know what ins and outs it is, but I mean, it's a beautiful package and I'm glad to have it. And speaking of, last night I was visiting my father who lives in Barrie, Ontario, and there's a beautiful new record store, and unfortunately they just opened up as the COVID lockdown started. And now the street that it's on is being completely ripped apart, and the construction's basically blocked off everything, so like the foot traffic is extremely minimal, so my heart does go out to these guys. It's God's Candy Record Store on Dunlop Street, and if you guys get a chance to go into Barrie, please go and check them out. Their prog section is fantastic. They had some Anathema or Atema, they had lots of Gentle Giant, they had a few Pendragon records there as well, so I picked up a Gentle Giant, which I'm going to get to first, but just to keep in the King Giz, we've got Float Along, Fill Your Lungs, their second release. I've been really digging some of their earlier stuff, and I love these tracks, like Head On Pill being the 16 minute opening track, and I love, Float Along, Fill Your Lungs, the final track on here. Just a brilliant album, and for a sophomore album, that was a very, very tasty track. Really, really enjoyed that one. So I picked that one up. They also, finally, after all these years of searching and looking and praying and finally finding, we've got Gentle Giants Acquiring the Taste. This looks like it's actually the 2020 re-release, which I didn't realize they did. So, I mean, it's technically like this, and then it opens up very much like a regular Gentle Giant, especially for the first 3 or 4 albums, where it's kind of like this, and then it folds down into that, kind of mimicking that first album there. just brilliant, just gorgeous. The new mix sounds pristine. It's got such great bangers. Like, I still love, like, I listened to it this morning, and the house, the street, and the room just got me so hard. It was so great. So finally have that in my collection. So now I have everything from their debut self-titled release all the way up to I guess the Free Hand and Playing the Fool. So the only ones that I'm missing now are everything from Interview all the way onto Citizen or Civilian. But I can wait for those ones. This was the one that I was really looking forward to. And speaking of completing, this last one, or these next three, are the completion of my King Crimson collection. And the first one, I'm going out of order for a purpose here, mainly of how I ordered them. The first one I got from Waxman up in North Bay, which is the Reconstruction of Light. Love this edition. Really, really dig some of the things that they did on this. I mean, Lark's Tongue and Aspect Part 4 still makes me weep every time I listen to it. And I really love some of the other tracks that they have on here. Like, obviously, I love Fractured. I am a little bit saddened with, I love the kind of like boy band late 90s picture they have on the inside here. Like, it's very out of the 90s. I friggin' love that. Like, that's something that, like, Porcupine Tree was doing in their, like, early days. And then the last two, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but I had to order through Amazon because I couldn't find them anywhere else that I could access immediately. And they're the last two Gentle Giant, geez, proc mood. They're the last two King Crimson albums. So I got Thrak, beautiful renditions. This was the what was it? The double trio that we had on there. So love some of these things. We had Robert Fripp and Andrew Below, Trey Gunn and Tony Levin, and finally Pat Masteletto, I think, no, and Bill Bruford. So the double trio. And finally, the last album from King Crimson is The Power to Believe. And I love some of the things that they have extra on this. Like, I only have the CD that I grew up with, right? So the fact that this has another one with Happy with What You Have to Be Happy With, and then the Gankri, She Shudders, Eyes Wide Open, Shoganin, Iran, and Potato Pie being kind of like the extra things that we have on this record. Really love. And of course, you gotta love the album, like, right out of there. That's the early 2000s if I've ever seen it. Like, these guys are about to drop the freshest new metal track on there. It's just hysterical. Like, I wonder, like, did nobody, like, see this picture and be like, guys, come on. Anyway, that's The Power to Believe. Great addition. And that's it. That's all the records that I've picked up throughout this quarantine era. Like, obviously, I haven't been record shopping quite as much, but within this whole new world that we find ourselves in, every chance that I can to go and check out either like their online catalog or even just pop in physical person if I can. I like to do that because it's been giving me some good vibes, and I've been really, really looking for some good vibes lately. So yeah, that's about it. What did you guys think? What albums have you been picking up in this new era that we find ourselves in? What was your favorite out of the bunch that I just showcased to you? Which ones were a surprise? Let me know all about that by commenting down below. And also, if you haven't already, check out my Patreon. I mean, even $1 a month is, it really does help as I kind of figure out where my next place is going to be as I kind of navigate this new reel. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you as always for watching. You guys really are the best. Like, I know I say that at the end of my videos, but I really truly do mean it. The support that I've found from this community has just been fantastic, and I can't stress how important it is to me and just how amazing it's been. So thank you so much for watching. You guys are always the best. And until next time, notes out.